Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about another important hook method for Angular component lifecycle, that is ngAfterViewChecked. Okay, so in this particular session, we will discuss what is ngAfterViewChecked, why do we use it, when it is invoked, and how we can write the syntax and structure for this method. But before we proceed further, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on how to use ngAfterViewChecked. Along with this, we will also discuss the difference between ngAfterContentChecked and ngAfterViewChecked. Because those who know about Angular after content checked, which we already discussed in session, right? So they know they can easily relate the things here with view checked, because in case of ng after content checked, the changes were monitored on projected content, but here the content here the view will be changed, the change direction will be considered for the view itself. Okay, let's go practically and see how we can implement this thing, so that I can show you each and everything in a detailed way. Okay, just before that, let me tell you the definition also, so that you can easily relate with the definition when we are doing the practical. So if someone asks you what is ngAfterViewChecked, so you can simply say Angular fires ngAfterViewChecked hook after it checks and updates the component's view template and all its child component view template. Okay, so this is the scenario. Now this hook is called during the first change detection cycle after ngAfterViewInit hook has executed, and after that during every change detection cycles. Yes, so sometime in interviews it might be asked with you might be seen with the provided with this question, like when it is called. So you can simply say that initially it will be called for the very first change detection, right? But later on, for every change detection cycle, it is called, it is invoked. Okay, now Angular also update the properties decorated with @viewChild and @viewChildren decorated before raising this hook. Okay, so once this hook is raised, that means these properties also updated. Okay, now another important thing is ngAfterViewChecked hooked is component only hook. Okay, that means it is not available for the directives. So these are the all things that we need to consider while talking about the ngAfterViewChecked. Alright, so I think now we are good to start with the practical thing. So firstly, what you can do, you can simply create your own component, because I have already created one component with the name student, and we all know that from last couple of sessions we are taking the same analogy, that is student and teacher. So for that I have already created the component. You can simply go here on terminal, click on new terminal, and from new terminal we can create the component. So I'll just show you the command, and that will help you to create the component. So you can simply write here ng for Angular, G is for generate, C is component, and then the name of the component, student. Okay, so once you hit enter on this command, it will create the component for you. But in my case, component is already created, so I'm not creating it again. Now here when you expand this thing student, you will see that 4 file has been added. Now one by one we will add all the things. So firstly, in app component we will simply connect this student component. How? You just need to go to this app.component.html. Here we are using the selector from the student component. So if you go to the student.component.ts, from here you can simply copy this app student, which is a selector. So make sure you are copying the selector itself. Okay, now to connect it with app component, you can simply go to this app.component.html. Here you can add it as a tag. Now before using it here, you should register this thing. So just simply go to app.component.ts. Here you can register it with student component. Okay, so once you put it here, it will automatically import the required thing. Clear? Now after that, you can see in app.component.html we have nothing, we just only kept this part only. Okay, That means we are not projecting anything from the app or teacher component. So where we are doing this? So we are doing everything inside the student.component.html. So let me show you now. So this is the condition. This is by default student works. Now after that we have added these things, one paragraph, then one button and one input field. Okay. So when we relate this thing with student and teacher model, so you can simply say that whenever like student kept all his required stationery on the table, so teacher as an Angular will check, okay, so student has kept his box on the table. That means box is now on teacher's on student own component. We can consider his table as his component, right? So he has put pen over it, maybe box, pencil, and Angular means teacher is just checking, okay, so something has been put on the table, or you can say the component. So when we are talking about components own view, so here table is the own views of student. So whenever we are talking about the own view, then in that case this method is called, which is ngAfterViewChecked, but only at the time of every change detection. Let's see how it works. So what we will do, we will create one paragraph here. So you can see paragraph is added. We have assigned some nickname to this paragraph, which is hash stationery, and here we will print the stationery name. We have declared it inside this student.component.ts file. Now we also know, like, this line will only print this stationery name, whatever present in the component.ts file. Now how we can change this thing? So to change the thing, we will create one input field. So here you can see I have added input field whose type is text, and then we are using this ng model for two-way data binding, and here I have mentioned user stationery name. So whatever user key in here, like whatever information user will put here, will be stored and used for this button. Okay. And also we are using this placeholder, enter stationery name, and there is one button. So once user click on this button, it will invoke this function, which is change stationery, and then this changed name will be stored into this stationery name. I hope this part is clear. Now let's go to student.component.ts. Here what we are doing, firstly we are adding this view child stationery element ref. Now what this line will do, so this line will help us to access this paragraph along with its data. Okay, so it helps us to fetch the data from here. Okay, not fetch, but to access this stationery data. Now let's go again. So here with this line we have added this thing. Remember one thing, whenever you are writing this line, make sure this is added in the required place, like view child, so it should be imported. Similarly, element ref should be imported. So if you see any error that it is not valid, that means it is not imported, so you can simply import it. After that, here in stationery name, by default I am setting it as pen. That means student has pen on his table, his or her table. Then we have user stationery name, which is by default blank, because so far user has not provided anything in the input field, so it should be blank. Now we will see the functions, like how functions are working. So here I have added two functions, ngAfterViewInit, just to show you, like once view is initialized, it will print this thing from ngAfterViewInit student has a, and then whatever is stored in it. So it is stored as pen, so it will show pen. Okay, here you can see we are using this term because in order to fetch the information from the element. Okay, so const is stationery text equal this dot stationery dot native element dot text content. Okay, so what it will do, it will fetch the actual value present inside the paragraph. Clear? And then we are printing it over here. Similarly, we have another function, that is ngAfterViewChecked, which is our main topic for today. So here also we are doing the same thing. We are fetching the information and printing it with different name. Here we are using ngAfterViewChecked, just to show you the difference between both output, ngAfterViewInit and ngAfterViewChecked. Okay, now next thing is change stationery. So here once user click on the button for change stationery, it will go inside this function, and here it will do this dot stationery name equal this dot user stationery name. Okay, fine. So I think now we are good with this thing. So let's run the application and see how it is working. Let's go to new terminal. From here we will run this application. So you can simply write here ngserve -- open and enter. So you will wait for a few seconds and it will automatically open the browser, and from that browser you will see how it is taking the values and printing the output. So browser is open. Now you can see this is the thing which is printing. Now you can do right click on inspect. After that you can click on console. So firstly it is printing this line from ngAfterViewInit student has a pen, because we all know that ngAfterViewInit is initialized. That means the variables, it has the ability to access the variable and all. Okay, then we have ngAfterViewChecked. It printed this student has a pen, and again we have this because it is running for every change detection. So now if I write something inside this book, inside this box, it will run again and again this line. Why? Because for every, we are using two-way data binding, so for every change detection method it will print this line. Let me show you. So if I write here let's say scale, so S, you can see one more time it is printed CALE. So you can see 7 times it is called because we removed one thing, right? So even if we are removing something, still it is calling it, because it is processed for every change detection. Once user click on this change stationery, it will change and it will print the new message, that is ngAfterViewChecked student has a scale. Clear? So yeah, this is how it works. So for every change detection in component's own view is considered, and it will evoke the function that is ngAfterViewChecked. So I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.